Hello, hello. We are going to be going live today. Very exciting because we have a special guest that I'm going to be having come on board with us to talk about her success story. So I will be adding her in just a minute. Invite people to join us in just a moment. Kathy, I believe I sit. There you are. You got to turn your phone sideways.
Way.
Hi, hi.
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
So, everybody, my name is Kyle Zagrodzky. I'm the founder and CEO of OsteoStrong, the world's largest natural bone health system to help you create strong bones, balance, strength, and eliminate most types of joint and back pain. And I'm very excited today because we have a success story that we wanted to share with you out of England, one of our locations that opened up there about a year ago. And so we want to talk with Kathy McCarthy. Kathy has been going to OsteoStrong and has a story she would like to tell us about how she's been doing. So please introduce yourself, Kathy.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Carl. Lovely to meet you. Thanks for having me on. I'm Kathy. I live in southeast England, not about half an hour from the Tunbridge Wells New Centre. I'm 63. I had never broken anything, had no idea really bone health until I had a skiing accident, ending up breaking my hip, which got
Oh my God,
repaired up with a hip replacement. A year later, broken arm, and it was that point I thought I've got to do something,
mercy.
something
Well,
stop.
Tunbridge is just southeast of London, and so I'm calling you here from Nashville, Tennessee today. So listen, it's been a while since I've been to England. It's been a little bit over a year. I've not been to Tunbridge, but I've been to, of course, Crowley and Gatwick, and what's that really cool beach that everybody goes to just south of,
Brighton,
what's that?
Brighton,
Brighton. I've been to, yeah,
yeah,
Brighton
yeah,
several times. So,
yeah.
so I appreciate you joining us. So you discovered you had low bone density by having a break. So it's not like
Yeah.
it sounds like you were a pretty active person. One of the things that surprises a lot of people is who are having a fairly active lifestyle or exercising regularly, then they get in their 60s or 70s and they break a hip or they break a spine, and which could be a very serious problem. So you broke you had a fracture and then another fracture. Is that when you learned you had osteoporosis?
Um, yes. Well, I had a DEXA because I'm a twin. I'm part of a twin study, so I had a DEXA, and they said my bone density was a bit low,
Hmm.
but didn't follow it up and didn't really realise that could be an issue. Just thought, oh,
Really?
I was
So
getting on.
how did you end up hearing about OsteoStrong?
Um, well, after I broke my hip, I started like thinking I need to have calcium and started researching that. And then it was then when I broke my arm and I said to the consultant, what can I do about my bones? He said, don't fall over. So at that point, I thought, I'm on my own here. I've got to sort it out. So I just started doing a lot of research online and I came across algae cal. And in researching that, a lot of people were saying they did OsteoStrong. So I was doing a lot of research and I was like, I can't see one in the UK. There must be one. And I just couldn't find it. So I was straight in there once I found out there was one opening in
Yeah.
England.
Oh, well, good. So you've been a member since really we opened up a
Yeah,
location there.
yes.
Outstanding. Well,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your bone health journey with OsteoStrong. So I'm happy to hear about it that you learned through us by researching Algae Cal. They're one of our partners, and we really found that results are substantially better when you have the proper
Yeah.
nutrition. You can get really great results doing just OsteoStrong. But if when you give it the right nutrition, because we're stimulating your central nervous system to build bone, you give it the materials to do that, and then you get great results. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in terms of your results, and how long have you been with
Uh,
OsteoStrong?
So I started just over a year ago when they first set up. Really, within a few weeks, I could feel much stronger. I think having had the accidents, it just sets you back because, you can't exercise for a while. So, you do find that you're getting weaker. And then it's really within a few couple of weeks, really, I suddenly felt that I was stronger. I think, and it gives you the confidence as well. You're getting the feedback, so it just gives you that confidence to push yourself a little bit more. And I've got quite a physical job, so all of a sudden I could pick things up that before I was like a bit hesitant about, just didn't feel strong enough.
Yep.
And all of a sudden I thought, in a minute, I can start lifting things again. And I felt my running just got stronger. And then so it was.
So normally, well, I want to get into what you're seeing with your bone density, but I will say that's the thing that we see with members all over the world is the first thing they experience is balance and strength, and we have many stories of people who where other people have noticed that they were getting stronger, they would just start picking up and doing things that they weren't even aware that they were doing. But people that knew them and saw them all the time were like, "How did you just do that?" And so that's interesting that you definitely experienced that. And usually it only takes a couple of weeks. So you're coming in for, and it's weird. A lot of people don't believe it because when you tell people OsteoStrong, you're really only doing a couple minutes of effort when you come in. So it's not like you're getting sweaty or anything or tired, and you're only doing it once a week. So you're thinking, how in the world can this possibly have an effect on my body? But it's usually within 2 or 3, 4 sessions, and people are like, oh my gosh, I feel stronger and my balance is getting better. I'm feeling more confident. Let's talk a little bit about your bone density. What have you seen? Because that could take more time to see those results in like a DEXA scan, because bone is such a dense, strong material.
Yeah. So I was able to have a DEXA scan because we can only have them every 2 years. They'll let you have it. So it was, I think I'd been coming to OsteoStrong about eight months. So I was able to have another DEXA scan. And my spine had increased 14.9%. And my left femur was 6.6% increase in bone density.
In 8 months. You know what's
Yeah,
interesting about that? So your spine went up 14.9 in 8 months, and how much did your hips go up?
6.6. Mine.
6.6. Those are pretty strong results in that period of time. What else is interesting about that to me is, help me understand if I got my math right here, that you had another year of bone loss, basically, then joined OsteoStrong for 8 months, and then so it had been almost 2 years since your DEXA scan, your previous DEXA scan that said you had low bone density, but you'd only been going to OsteoStrong within 8 months. So you had almost 2 years of bone loss, but only 8 months of OsteoStrong, yet you saw a 14.9% increase in your spine. That's extraordinary. We see really great results at OsteoStrong, but that's got to be in the top 5% of really great results. You must feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
Are you?
yeah, yeah.
The really good. I'm going to ask you a quick question, or I'm going to make a statement here because a lot of times we have people coming into OsteoStrong who've had either a hip or a knee replacement surgery, and they're wondering, can they do that? Can they do OsteoStrong? What has been your experience? Were you afraid? Was it going to help you? Was it going to hurt you? What was your general belief, and what advice would you give to people who were thinking about joining OsteoStrong who'd had a replaced hip or a hip surgery?
I think when I had the hip surgery, the surgeon said, don't have to worry, don't worry about being able to run and exercise again. That's why you've had the hip replacement, to get your life back. So, I'm hardly really aware of it. I just get on and don't feel anything or anything. So it's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah,
some people
yeah.
have
I know
it's
bone
one
around it.
one of the things people don't realize. So I don't know if it's the same way in England, but in the United States we have Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October, and it's like the whole world turns pink. Everybody's wearing their pink
Oh,
clothes. It's
yes.
breast cancer awareness. What people don't realize is the 2-year mortality rate for people over 60 who had a fractured hip is greater than that of breast cancer. And it's not that the broken hip is the thing that causes your demise. What ends up happening is your strength
Yeah.
and your balance goes down so much that you end up and your quality of life goes down, that other things start to break and fall apart, and you end up
Yeah.
having some other problem. How has the quality of your life improved since coming to OsteoStrong in terms of your mobility and doing things?
Yes, I'd say my mobility has increased, and I think it gives you more confidence, because once you've had a fall, it's always a bit, if you're on slippy ground or wet, it kind of brings it back a little bit, like, oh, I might fall. But I think doing the OsteoStrong, and because we do the power plates and everything, that really increases your balance. So that just gives you the confidence to kind of push yourself more and do more.
Very good, very good. Oh my gosh, I had a friend of mine from Egoscue join the live feed. So I hope you're welcome to it. So we're just talking about the results. And so a lot of people think that, well, I don't need to think about my bone density until I have a DEXA scan. What advice would you have for them?
Well, you do, because the trouble is you don't get a DEXA scan until you've broken something. I don't know if it's the same, but here, unless you break something, you don't get one. So it's kind of a bit late then.
It's an interesting thing about bone health. About half of all women over the age of 50 will have an osteoporotic fracture,
Yeah.
and about a third of men will have an osteoporotic fracture. And in the United States, um, a woman's doctor is called an OBGYN, and they will generally start administering DEXA scans as a function of their practice to women who are going into menopause or that period of their life. But for men, we don't do that kind of thing. And what people I think are surprised by is that they hit a peak bone mass at the age of 30, but everybody starts
Yeah.
losing bone density after the age of 30. And you don't really realize it, but your strength is going down with your bone density because your central nervous system will never allow your muscles to become stronger than what your bones can actually handle. And so you just think, oh, I'm getting older, I'm getting weaker, my balance is getting worse. But if just by strengthening your bones, and what it is that we do at OsteoStrong, it strengthens your muscles simultaneously, that you can maintain a high standard quality of living just by going into OsteoStrong 1 day a week. Is a very simple thing to do. But because we see such dramatic increases in bone density, like what you have seen, to give you some idea of like the numbers you shared with me, just so you understand how substantial that is, a person will lose about 1% bone density per year after the age of 30. You have essentially added back in your spine almost 15 years of bone density in 8 months. You do OsteoStrong for 2 or 3 years and you continue at that rate, you wouldn't have to do OsteoStrong again because that bone density would start to decline on the natural cadence, but at a rate of only about 1% per year. So over the next few years, if you add 30–40% bone density, that means you've got 30–40 years of it would take for your body to get back to where you are right now. And so we call that kind of your bone bank or your bone battery because it stores up bone density. So many people make a cottage industry of around giving osteoporosis or bone density advice, and I'm thinking for 99% of the people, it's go to OsteoStrong, get the proper nutrition, and that's all you need to know. You don't need to become a bone expert and, well, what do I need to eat that's going to have more calcium? Take Algae Cow, go to OsteoStrong, and go live your life. When I first started this company, one of the guys I hired kept trying to refer to OsteoStrong as a lifestyle business because the gym industry, you kind of have to build a lifestyle around exercise or you just won't do it. And I said, I don't like that term. We're not I don't care about changing people's lifestyle. I just want to enable them to live whatever lifestyle they want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We
ask, I got what I got.
started coming
Go,
too.
go ahead.
Started coming as well. because he's very sporty. So he was like, I want to keep being able to do all this sport into my old age. So, you know, it's not just for menopausal women or things. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it
great.
changed my life. I used to have chronic joint and back pain for decades from sports-related injuries. I had some pretty bad injuries when I was in my early 20s. I used to get migraine headaches all the time. I had bad knees, a bad hip, bad back. And when I first started OsteoStrong, I was a little scared to do the very first session because I thought it would, if it makes my joints hurt more, what was I going to do? I had already been going to chiropractors and massage therapists and acupuncture, and those things helped, but the pain was always there. I had to do those things just so I could function. It was about 6 or 7 sessions at OsteoStrong, and all my joint and back pain just went away. And I was like, what? That's all I had to do, and no more migraine headaches, no more problem. My strength came back, and I just felt like a brand new man. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to let the world know about this because I don't want people to suffer for decades when there's such a simple solution out there. And so, one question I have for you, which is, do you make it into your session every week, and do you ever miss sessions?
Yes, I go every week as part of my week now.
Yeah,
I only miss if I'm on holiday or something.
yeah. And
Yeah,
here's the
yeah.
thing is, let me ask you a question. If you do miss a session or two, do your numbers drop and do you get weaker or do you continue to get stronger or stay the same?
I think when I've had a break, sometimes they get stronger.
Yep,
Um,
yep. That's
yeah,
what we see. It's funny because it's not like the
yeah,
gym. If you miss a week or two at the gym, it's like you go so far back. But the weird thing is, if you miss a couple of weeks at OsteoStrong, you go back. Sometimes you're even stronger when you come back. Isn't that weird?
yeah,
It doesn't work like anything we've ever seen before. And like I said, I had a friend of mine from Egoscue. I hope that's Brian who joined on here. But one of the things Egoscue does is they specialize in realigning the body and getting your biomechanics because sometimes people are really out of place. And when you could combine something like OsteoStrong and Egoscue, it's like level 10 because if you have biomechanic issues and you're strengthening everything because you want to make sure you're training your body to be straight. I love chiropractors and what is they do, they keep you straight. But man, if you could just strengthen the foundation at the same time, it is a whole new level of experience that you're going to have in life. And so, any final words for anybody thinking about joining OsteoStrong?
uh, just do
Yeah,
it. Just,
just,
you know, take your life into your own hands. It's your future, so it's you that can sort it
yeah,
out. You know, give it a go. You won't
yeah.
regret it, I don't think.
Well, Victoria is one of our owners there. How's
Yeah,
do
they're
you see her
great.
every day when you come in? She's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's that.
Victoria, I owe so much to them. You know,
Yeah.
I feel I've got
Well,
my
I need to make a trip out to England.
yeah,
I'm thinking about
yeah,
going to. Yeah, I will definitely will if I whenever I go to Europe, I try to visit as many centers there as I can.
yeah,
We certainly want to open up more centers in England,
yeah,
all over the UK. And so, if there's anybody who's interested, we are certainly looking for people that would love to own one of these businesses. It will not only change your life as an owner. We had one of our owners in several of owners who bought OsteoStrong, they themselves had osteoporosis. They no longer have osteoporosis. One of our owners has stronger bone density than a professional. She came in she started OsteoStrong with osteoporosis. Now she has a positive 1 T score, which is essentially the T score you would see from a 25-year-old professional rugby player. And she's in her early 60s. And so we have lots of those kinds of stories. That's something that could be you if this bone density is something that you're concerned about. And
mm,
so, Kathy, it means so much to us that you came and shared that story. We just need to have more people know that there is a solution for you out
yeah,
there. It's not hard. It's easy to do. You won't break a sweat. You won't get sweaty, and you can have an amazing success story just like Kathy. So, Kathy, thank you so much.
thank
We
you.
love you. We appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Thanks for having me
All
on.
right. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.